raw foods ain't for everyone. And I'm gonna go over what leads one to raw foods, inquiries, and just things among that nature. It's gonna be a real interesting video. So I can tell you off the bat, not everyone's gonna eat raw foods. And it's raw foods for everybody. And some people are fanatics about it. Raw foodists. And some people dedicate their whole life around it and all about food. Now this depends on where you are at life. Some people want to dedicate their whole life to food. So if that's what you want to do, there's nothing wrong with that. And that's just their lifestyle. They make money off it. It's what they talk about all the time. And teaching other people, awareness, and probably some other eccentric stuff that ties into that. Knowledge about pollution, the environment, chemicals, pesticides, the dirt, soil, maybe agriculture, permaculture. Yeah. The thing is, raw foods at the end of the day aren't going to be for everyone. And you can definitely best believe with all the restaurants and the cooking and the addictions, along with a lot of additives they add into the food that make you addicted, both mentally and physically. There's a lot of additives and stuff that may not consider an additive that still may addict you. White sugar and just chemicals, chemical-based things, even stuff such as corn syrup. And there's also just a whole slew of things that you can become addicted to. Especially, and this is the foremost one, is the taste. And then, like I said, there's chemical factors, mentally and the physical, which I guess would be the taste. Even the peeling of the eyesight, or seeing someone else eat it, seeing it in a store, whatever it is. And then, you know, when you eat like such thing as like canned foods in a metal can, or maybe plastic foods, they absorb the, you know, the tin that it's in, the aluminum, maybe the plastic, and you don't even know where your food's coming from, how it was grown. Was it grown with love? What was the soil like? Did they use pesticides? You know, was it just the whole nature behind it? If someone, no matter what food it is, animal, whatever, if it's raised wild, you know, obviously that's going to be the best and nurturing food for you. Wild, and then organically grown. But you can just scratch that and say, whether it's conventional, organic, was it grown with love? Was it grown with care, awareness, thoughts of it to be a good crop? Or was it just another cash crop, not really any good intentions behind it other than a monetary, economic type of value to it? And was it grown, how was the soil, and was it monocrop? Is it really beneficial? And how did the person feel about the whole ideal? Now I'm not going to get into that whole spiel, but when we're talking about raw foods, and there's a lot more talk to it and hype there it is, and I understand it depends on how you get there. How are you arriving at this destination, and is it still going? How are you incorporating raw foods into your life. People do it for different reasons. And they all, like I said, they all have different times of arrival. Some may never get there. And that's fine too. It's all about your level of health, where do you want to take it, and your consciousness. Now, people, as again, get to this destination, but that's not the end. There is no finish line. It keeps going. I will say, the only thing about raw foods, and then I'm going to get into the real aspects, the nitty-gritty of it. When you get into raw foods, it's kind of hard to go back to cooked foods. And I can't have, antidote for that. I don't know if that was the exact word, but I guess it could work into my choreography. I find it hard to go back. I don't really care for that food necessarily. Cooked food, that is. And again, I have nothing against it. I know why people eat it. I mean, a lot of people eat it for different reasons. They like the taste, or they don't really care about nutritional value, or they're just not aware of it. And these aren't negative things, and these aren't wrong things per se. They definitely aren't. Some feel like they need to warm up in the cold season as it's coming in certain areas. Some people feel that they feel cold, so they need to warm up and eat harder foods. They don't want to eat raw, damp, cold foods per se. Now, when people get in the raw foods and it gives them life again, see, and like I said, there's different circumstances that lead people to raw foods. Some might hear about it and be like, oh, well, I want to try some raw foods. Just off of reading about it or hearing about it. And that's fine too. Some people have health problems, and which leads them to it. Other than just mere curiosity that led someone to it. And those are pretty much the two main ways. Someone may accidentally come on to it, meet somebody and be like, hey, I'm eating all these raw foods, da 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 da. And as you can see, there's levels. Some people might be dying and they switch to a raw diet, and it cleans up their system, whatever was going on, whether it was cancer, or some crazy disease. But boom, it's gone. They've seen the power of raw foods. They may go back to cooked foods. And this is the most nagging thing I'm gonna say. See, when people get the raw foods, and it can be a mentality and that whole ideal, because whatever you think about your food is how it's gonna make you feel. Ultimately, it really is. Some people can eat shit all their lives and live a shitty lifestyle, but still, whether you want to call it a shitty lifestyle, but still be healthy in the end. They could eat cooked food all their life. Some people can utilize cooked food. Maybe more people are becoming prone to utilizing cooked food. And like I said, there is nothing wrong with cooked food. It's just where you want to take it. What are the reasons? Why? What's going on in your life? Where do you see this going in the future? And like I said, this is the most nagging thing, is when you get the raw foods, there's a thing where it has to be experiential. If you don't see the life force in it, you can reading about it's nice. You have to really see it. Feeling it is something too, but if you don't see the light, the vibration, and this is no joke, you have to get to like some people, and this is where I'm getting at, some people can try raw foods and be like, okay, I might incorporate them, and that's a pleasure. That's what I would recommend anybody doing, is just getting a little bit more raw foods into your life. Whatever you like though. And like I said though, an incorporation's even nice, a mixture of things. Not, like I said, not everyone's gonna go straight to these raw foods. They don't have a reason to. And some would never will. And you really have to go through something, a midlife crisis, a spiritual thing, to get there. It's not just, oh, I woke up one day and want to eat these raw foods, or heard about it and I want to eat these raw foods. A lot of people have been eating so much cooked food, so much garbage, additives, food that's not even real at the very essence, food that's been depleted of like nutrients, not even knowing where the food is coming from in nature, how was it raised. And wow, what a description. What I'm saying is, you have to have something in your life to realize the vibration of these foods, to make you want to. You have to see the life inside of them. It's not just, oh, I'm eating raw foods because someone told me to. And there's nothing wrong with that. But there may be great things that come out of that. But you have to know what's going on. You have to hit a low vibration, basically. Or it doesn't necessarily have to be a low, but usually someone gets sick, has a health problem, something happens, and they see there has to be some connection that they see, the life. And then once they see that, things change. It's just a whole new perspective. They see everything differently, and especially in food. It's not, you know, you could wake up one day and eat cooked food your life and start eating like 50% raw food and 50% cooked, and that's excellent. And I'm not even promoting raw food in this video. It'd be a nice addition to your life to maybe try out, but at the very essence of this, I just want you to know, raw food isn't for everybody, especially going like balls deep in. And it's not the end of the world either. A lot of people went through some things to get there, and they had to see it. That's what people don't get, you know. When people talk about God, people had to go through something to see God, to care that much. I'm not saying you can't. I'm not saying you do have to go through some stuff, some suffering, but it kind of happens like that. So incorporating raw foods would be a nice addition. And you know, it doesn't work for everybody either. Like, there's gonna have to be some desire, some want, some fulfillment. There's gonna have to be some suffering or something to make you get there. This is a nice shot right here. This camera's nice too, though. iPhone 6s. The people, you know, some people get balls deep in there. And the types of raw foodists, there's people who are raw vegan, who don't eat eggs, dairy, no meat, no cheese, not even honey, no animal products, and that's great. It's all about where you want to take it. Now there's raw foodists who do incorporate some eggs, raw milk, cheese, and then there's people who go the whole eats everything raw, even raw meat. They eat raw carnivore. They eat everything raw. And you can see there's different levels, but it's all about where you want to take it. If you don't like raw foods, then you can't fucking eat them. And this is the whole thing I'm getting at, the whole nagging thing. You can't just do something if you don't like doing it. And the whole other counter side of that is you have to have a fulfillment. You have to have a need. Something has to happen in your life to bring you there. Or it could just happen magically, majestically, you know, mystically. And it's the whole 9 yards. Anything can happen to bring you to this state. And there's nothing wrong with eating cooked foods, yada, yada, yada. And it depends on the situation, on your conscientious, what's going on in your moment in life, how do you feel. It's all about how you feel at the end of the day, and what do you want. Now, I don't look at the camera all the time because it's hard to articulate my thoughts and look at the camera as I walk. So, because there's a bunch of stuff all the way. Because some of my videos, I find it better not trying to stare at the camera, because then I lose my concentration because I don't know where I'm walking, and then I'm trying to recollect the thought. You know, just try raw food. I mean, it's just simple as that. A banana, a strawberry, maybe even get your hands on some raw milk. Try to see if you can get some raw butter. And I know the dairy is hard to get a hold of. I mean, you could even try a raw egg. You want high quality, whatever it is you're gonna eat. Anyone wants high quality, no one wants low quality. That's why everything should have a super high standard. And there's nothing wrong with cooked food either. You know, I had to go through a situation to get to raw food where I'm at, and this is just where I'm at. I don't know if I'm gonna be here forever. I like where I'm at. I don't see things the same. I feel different. And that's all right. I'm not convincing anybody. And you know, just have some self-meditation and awareness. Eat a banana. It's raw, of course, but eat it, and then just eat it by itself maybe, and see how it makes you feel. And this goes along with any food. If you feel fantastic after some oatmeal, but you don't like it, well, eat the oatmeal. Because obviously you feel fantastic. If you do like oatmeal and you eat it and you feel fantastic, well then definitely eat the oatmeal. I mean, there is some mentality that goes behind it. You could say, I don't like this oatmeal, and it could react with your body because it's that energy that's coming in. And that could have a repercussion right there. So, and that's like a whole thing right there, but it all depends on how you feel about it. If you don't feel the need to go to raw foods, that's completely fine. You may be completely fine where you're at. You may never have a problem. You may never need to, or you may be perfectly fine where you're at. Hey, I mean, live your life at the end of the day. Don't be dogmatic about things. I'm not dogmatic about anything, but this just goes on some of my other videos. I do talk about raw foods. Not even that much, but just in case you do see one of my videos or interested, or just see some other people talk about it hooting and hollering. This is one thing they don't discuss. I just don't. Raw foods in general is not a big concept. So it may be overlooked and even underlooked. But it's about where you are in your life and what propels you to get there. You know, if you feel great all the time, keep doing what makes you feel great. I mean, why do something else? And this just goes with anything. A lot of people get dogmatic about the raw foods, and I understand, I get it, and some people build careers out of them or whole lifestyles, and that's perfect too. I mean, if you love food that much, that's fine. That's almost like a food addiction. Retrospectively, but that may happen. It definitely does, and people become obsessed with it. And there's reasons behind this. It may be nutrition they were missing all their life that they finally got, and there may be a psychological need for this, a physical need. It may be some emotional stuff. And you know, just don't. Food isn't everything. Once you got that covered, you know, there's other things to do. Too. Food isn't everything. A lot of people, not till they really get into health or things along that line, more awareness or conscientious, that they even think about food that much, you know. And it's not good to think about food all the time either, unless you want to and want it to be. If it's nagging you and distracting you and ruining your life, then yeah, maybe a dietary change is what you need in some retrospect. Maybe someone who eats raw food needs to start eating some cooked food. And some people switch it up all the time. And you don't know what everyone does either, because they could be lying. Especially when you see stuff on YouTube. Just know I commit to what I say. I have to be real stern about that. And I'm strict. But I'm not trying to be that way, I just am. It's not something I'm forcing myself. Wow. I got some electricity in this bottle. It's lime. Wow, and those limes, whew, I don't care what you're doing, throw some limes in your water. That will wake you up. It's really beneficial. Wow, these limes, electricity in a bottle, and I got a little bit of honey in here. Just some normal water. But wow, it's real hydrating. Really good for you, and wow, really hydrating. I love it. And you know, that's the thing, just even, you know, bringing some awareness into it, conscientious, and this will propel in the whole other things, whole other yards in your life that will bring, you know, prosperity, growth, learning, new things, new people, activities, creativity, new foundations, and settlements. Maybe even lifestyles, of course. But once you start incorporating these raw foods, I'm not saying that you have to either, but if you do, you know, things are gonna pick up, new things are gonna happen. You might not like it at all, and you might go straight back to cooked foods. You might be like, hey, I like what he's saying. I might incorporate 50-50. I might do some more research. You might go completely raw and never thank me. You might eat completely raw. Something down the line, you may watch this video, ignore it. Somewhere down the line, maybe a day, maybe years, you know, you get real sick, and then you try to go raw foods or try incorporating that diet because someone said, whether it was me or you heard or someone else advised you. Or you may just do it little by little, and you may be completely raw at one point, whether it's raw vegan or just a raw foodist. Wherever you want to set your standards, whatever's for you. Don't eat a salad because I told you or because someone else said it's good for you. How do you feel when you eat a salad? You might try it and see how you feel. If you don't like it, then don't try it at all. Well, if you don't like it, then don't keep on trying it, you know? If you do, then hang yourself in there, strap the seatbelt, and see where you want to go. You may like it, but you may not want to ever eat a salad again. Or you may want to incorporate it into your lifestyle. The thing about raw foods to take from this video is it's not for everyone, and it's just as simple as that. And a lot of people have to get propelled here, or curiosity, health reasons to actually get here, have a miracle, have a foundation, or have some divine activity that's going on for them. You know, people don't get to go to raw foods necessarily just because out of curiosity or because someone told them. They don't really understand. That's why I said it has to be a feeling. Have to actually see it. Yeah, so don't take note. I have nothing against cooked foods, you know what I mean? In my mind, towards my cooked foods, yes, I do. Other people eating cooked foods? No, I don't have nothing against them eating cooked foods. That's just me. If you want to personally know, that's me. But everyone else is fine. You're gonna kind of have to deal with it. You shouldn't purposely try to change anyone. You might advise them, but that's only gonna go so far, you know? But when the people want it, and this is the whole matter of the ball rolling, they'll come for it. It's just as simple as that. And they'll know. They'll see it. And again, there's nothing wrong with cooked foods, and you could eat all cooked for all that matters. It just depends on how you feel. Want to try something new, research it, get some advice, look it up, and see where it goes. Yeah. And there's different things to it, you know. There's different textures. There's a whole different side of life. Microbiome, digestion, flavor, / taste, just the sight of it, and feeling, you know, euphoria, the energy, wow, the most of all. These are just the smell. I know it's hitting all the senses too, whether it's cooked or not. There's aromas. And, you know, these play a beneficial factor in your life. If someone loves cooked food, and that's what I'm saying, some people, it sounds so crazy because no one's really even ate that much. I'm sure it's getting out there. And people eat like salads and don't think anything of it. But they never experience how they feel from it. That's, and there's some raw foods people haven't tried at all, or haven't even thought about trying, or unaware of, or just never seen or something. And there's just, wow, you know? And people don't recognize how it makes you feel, especially younger people, because in the West, in the East, yeah, it's a little bit different, especially in the middle. But, you know, people aren't, I've never been over there anyway, but I can tell it's a little bit different because we're not raised on a self-awareness how something makes you feel. When your stepdad or your mother hits you, yeah, you feel sad. Especially when you're younger, you feel that. That could be a traumatic experience. That could ruin your whole life. Or it could make your life for the better at some point. Everything's for the better. Great way to view life. Sorry for that. Arms get tired holding this up a lot today. And there could be that traumatic experience. Whereas, especially when you're younger, a lot of stuff happens when you're younger. But, you know, when you're younger and you eat a hot dog, they just give it to you. You know, you don't have no recollection of how you're gonna feel, self-control. They don't teach you that. Self-awareness, you know? They're propagated by all these things around you in the environment. Peer pressure, family pressure, what to do and what to not to do. What's good, what's bad, how to behave. There's no such thing as any of that. And like I was saying, when you eat a hot dog, you're not sitting with your body like, how is this gonna make me you're just not even that. You're just not seeing if it's giving you energy or not. You're not really focused on it. You're not really worried about it. But, you know, what was that hot dog with? Was it with pickles? Were you allergic to any things? Was there cheese on it? Was there some vegetables on it? Was it on a bun? Was it heirloom grain, or was it just that Wonder white ass bread sludge? Was the hot dog filled with preservatives, or was it raised with care? You could have eaten the hot dog raw. And I mean, these are little things, but everything counts. It sounds cliche, but it's true. And at the end of the day, it's not a do or die situation, but it could be. There's just a contradiction in everything, and there's energy in both ways, but it comes in waves, ups and downs. Everyone wants to be up, but it doesn't necessarily come like that. It kind of like a steady rise or at a steady neutral level, and you take it where you want it. If you ever exhaust yourself with excitement, of course you're not going to be excited all the time. And if you get depressed all the time, eventually it's going to wear off. You're just not going to be depressed. You might keep falling into a cycle, into a routine, but it's almost impossible to be depressed 100% all the time. It's just going to wear off. It will come back. Then it'll wear off, just like anger or just like excitedness. If you had sex 100 times a day, you would eventually be like, okay, I don't want sex anymore. I want to try something different, or I want to take a break. There's people who eat raw foods and then go back. What I'm saying is, especially when you're younger, you don't have conscience. We're not taught, and it's kind of hard to reconcile this when you're younger, not because you heard someone talk about it, but to realize it yourself when you eat like an apple, to see how is it vibrating your body? How do you feel when you eat it? Or compared to eating like applesauce that's been cooked. I'm not saying one is better than another. I'm not. It all depends on how it makes you feel. But when you're younger, you don't realize these things, and you develop a routine of habitual things. And when you get older, you don't even look at raw foods or care how it makes your body feel. You might get stomach cramps, but you're not going to relate it back to the food until you really have a problem. But even then, you still won't, because they don't teach you self-awareness at all. And I know that's not the point of this video, but it kind of tags along. Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed watching this video. Leave your comments below, and let me know how you feel about the situation and just the whole 9 yards. It'd be nice to hear it. Have a great day.